In 1981, Carol Morgan was found brutally murdered in the storeroom of her corner shop. For over 4 decades, her husband, Alan Morgan, maintained his innocence. He was a grieving widower, a man wrongfully accused. His friends and family stood by him, fighting for justice. But in 2024, everything changed. New evidence proved Alan had orchestrated Carol's murder all along. The people who had defended him, the ones who swore he was incapable of such a thing, were left shattered. Because this isn't just a story about a crime. It is a story about belief, about how we form it, how we defend it, and how often this has nothing to do with logic. Because the truth is, your beliefs aren't as rational as you think they are. My name is Kevin, and I have too many interests, not enough time, and a drive to understand the world better. Today we're looking at why our beliefs are not as rational as we think, how sometimes that's not such a bad thing, and sometimes it can be a very bad thing. People love to say, I base my beliefs on evidence. And that sounds great, right? Well, let's test that. And let's start with an harmless example. Sports. Think about your favorite soccer team. Maybe it's Manchester United. And you scream for them, you get angry for them, and sometimes you even cry for them, right? But why? Maybe you were born in that city, or maybe you grew up and that was your team. There was a player that you liked that was playing for them or something. But here's the question. What makes Manchester United Manchester United? Is it the players or the coach or the way they play? Now imagine this. Overnight, all the players and the coach, they all sign up for Manchester City. And the players from Manchester City, they go and they become Manchester United. Will you start suddenly cheering for City? Probably not. And that tells you something. That tells you that your loyalty is not to the players, the way they play, or the coach, but rather to the team, to the colors, to the name. And that's irrational. Why just the name? You could have selected Manchester City or Arsenal or any other teams. So are your beliefs irrational? Well, maybe. But sports are just fun. It's harmless, right? So let's take it a step further. Now imagine this. You're going to a party and someone comes to you and tells you your best friend has been acting like a jerk earlier. How do you react? Do you believe them right away? With some of my friends, I would. Or do you start asking questions? Are you sure? Maybe you misunderstood because that really doesn't sound like him. But now imagine it's not your best friend. It's a total stranger. And in this case, you probably wouldn't hesitate to believe them. So there is some difference there. And psychologist Sarah Stroud calls that epistemic partiality. And that's just basically a fancy name to say that we judge people that we care about differently than just strangers. So we don't just apply logic in our beliefs, but we apply loyalty. Okay, so sports and personal relationship might have some irrationality built into them. But that's not the end of the world. Well, maybe not for this. But what happens when the same kind of loyalty is applied to identity and politics and ideologies? Think about political debates. People don't analyze each argument rationally. They defend their position just like they defend their sports team. They rationalize, they cherry pick, they twist the evidence. Well, just like a soccer fan, right? And that's how irrational beliefs stop being harmless and become very dangerous. Because the more we tie our beliefs with our identity, the harder it is to admit that we're wrong. If accepting a fact means rethinking everything that we stand for, then of course we're gonna resist it. And that's the problem. Sometimes letting go of a belief feels like losing part of ourselves. So now we get that we're not that rational. But before we fall into despair, let's consider what a world based on pure logic would mean. Think about friendship again. In a purely logical world, when someone screws up, you would adapt your beliefs and potentially drop them if it's very bad. No second chance, no understanding, just pure cold rationality. Would friendship even be possible in a world like this? Maybe a little irrationality is necessary. Maybe loyalty, even if it's not 100% logical, is what makes us human. But here's the problem. Sometimes the same irrationality makes us hold onto beliefs that actually hurt us, that we should let go. And that's the real question. How do we know when to be rational and when to hold onto our beliefs anyways? And those examples, they reveal that while we want to be rational, our beliefs are often shaped by emotions, relationships, or identities. And sometimes that's harmless. It's just sport, it's just loyalty. But what happens when irrational belief stops being a personal thing and start to shape the world around us? Sometimes it controls election, it fuels division, and it justifies harm. And here's the truth. Sometimes loyalty is a virtue, and sometimes it's a shield against reality. So where's the line? At what point does standing by someone become standing in the way of truth? And when that moment comes, will you even realize it? We went deep there. I hope you enjoy this new format. It's something that I'm trying out, so feel free to let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see more. And thank you very much for your support until then. It's been a pleasure to work on those videos for you. So take care, keep on thinking, and if you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing because that really helps me dedicate more time to this kind of videos. See you on the next one.